Excellent work. Have the assets set in place. I want the option to go mobile if we have to. Lucas, when I look out there, I see our enemies testing us. Seeing if we have the resolve.
If you send me back in, I will find him. I promise.
Tyrann must be made an example of. They have to know that we are strong. We have to show them. We're sending you in as a refugee, using the deportation as cover. Once you're on the other side, you'll make contact with an informant, codenamed Zeus. He'll give you Tyrann's location. Find him, and execute. Then make your way to the extraction site. We have been given an opportunity, Lucas. An opportunity to convince everyone we are right. You see what they're like. These people are animals, all of them. The threat is real. It's not just on the other side. It's come here, to our home. We must defend it at all costs.
Citizens, in spite of your mistakes, we have always hoped you would return.
Alright guys, KILLAMCKILLCAM here, back with Killzone Shadowfall, Chapter 5, Part 1. This is going to be a 3-part series, and if you've noticed a difference in the videos, there was no intro, there's not going to be any outro, and no music, because this particular clip is exactly 15 minutes long, and because the PlayStation will only record 15 minutes, up to 15 minutes of gameplay, and the Shatter Factory will only render up to 15 minutes of movie commentary or whatever, edited clips. So I couldn't do an intro, no big deal. As you saw on the screen, when the big red arrow appeared, that I still have 3 out of 3 lives. I haven't died yet, and I'm not going to die this whole entire series. And you will see how I was able to do that if you continue watching, and if you see every single chapter, you'll see that I complete every single chapter without dying once. So, and I've already done this once. I already have the Like a Boss trophy, and I did it before, and the last time I did it, I died twice. This time I'm going to do it without dying at all. So, if you've been paying attention to the campaign, or if you've already played the campaign, then you will know that in Chapter 4, Tyrann gets away from you in the dropship, and now I am trying to sneak into New Helgen, or New Helgast, as a refugee to find him. I have to meet up with a guy named Zeus, and he is going to tell me where he is at. Now, when you meet up with Zeus, there's going to be an added objective, and that added objective is going to be to erase his name. And they're going to want you to do that in exchange for Zeus giving you the information. It is optional. I've done it twice. I did it the first time I played the campaign, and I did it the first time I did the Elite campaign. And so I'm not going to do it this time. So sorry Zeus, thanks for the information, but I'm in a big hurry, and I guess you just sacrificed your life for a greater cause, man. I really do appreciate it. So, you know, I saved you twice before. You know, you don't get anything extra for saving him. And when you're doing the Elite mode and you want to do it without dying, and you want to save all 3 of your lives for Chapter 7 and 9, you know, Chapter 5 is when the game actually gets a little difficult, and where the enemies are a little more armored and a little more heavily armed, and you can die a lot quicker. And there's a lot of security alarms that you have to hack in order to prevent the alarm from going off, or to stop hordes of enemies coming. And when they sound the alarm, what comes is a Helghast with a riot shield and a shotgun, and those guys will kill you very quickly. So to prevent yourself from getting into a situation where you have the potential of dying, then you're going to want to skip that added objective to erase his name. You know, if you feel bad about doing that, go do it on the regular campaign. But sorry, not in the Elite. So, coming up, I'm going to get to a point, you know, the first objective point, and if you've played this game before, if you've played this campaign before, and you know where Zeus is hiding in the vent, then you don't even need to go to the original objective point. You can skip right over it, and instead of going to that objective, then you just go to the steps. You go down the steps. There's going to be 2 enemies in a little room, and they're going to be yelling at somebody, and you can sneak right past them and go right to the vent. And if you want to do that, it will skip over the first objective point, and you will have to, or not have to, but you'll get to skip over having to fight and have a shootout with, I think, 10 enemies, and it makes it a little quicker. I didn't do that this particular time around just because I wanted to show everybody the full chapter in this series, since it's being uploaded to YouTube, and other people who haven't played the game or the campaign before don't know where Zeus is hiding. So in order to find where he's hiding, you have to go to the original objective point. So when you're on this train, Sinclair's going to tell you that you need to set off an EMP blast. So it's very important that you hit the R2 button right away as soon as it pops up on the screen, or that girl there in the middle will tell the Hellgas that you have a bomb. And I don't remember if she says it or not, if you're able to kill this guy. And then make sure you hit the R3 button. Don't, overlook that, because he will kill you.
Where the hell do we go? Anywhere.
So you'll see, I'm going to make my way out of the train. You hit the up on your D-pad to find your objective point, and follow that little orange circle. Now you're going to see down here, the alarm gets sounded, and if I would have done it a little differently, I could have prevented the alarm from being sounded. I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to melee this guy and get a double melee on that guy over there. But there's a guy to the right who was able to sound the alarm while I'm in the shootout with this guy here. Now luckily I was able to kill him, and I knew, since he sounded the alarm, that there was going to be 2 riot show guys coming through those little metal detectors. So you're going to want to back up and aim for their head. That's going to be the quickest way to kill those guys. They have shotguns and a shield. The only way you can kill them is by shooting them in the head, and if you do shoot them in the head, they'll die pretty quickly. So what I was doing here, I could have swore before when I was doing the campaign that there was an adrenaline pack somewhere over here, but I couldn't see it. Oh, there it is on the ground there. So if you die and have to use your adrenaline, just make sure that you pick up the adrenaline pack. It's laying right there. If you're having a problem locating the adrenaline pack, just hit the overwrite on your D-pad, and those little white triangles will appear, and one or several of them will be adrenaline packs. Now this is the part that I said that you could skip. If you want to skip this part, instead of turning right here and going through these metal detectors, turn left, go down the steps, go around the steps, and you're going to want to go to the left of the steps, and then go to your right after you get underneath the steps. Go to the right and you'll see a vent. And then if you hit the overwrite on your D-pad, a little triangle will appear, and you'll highlight that triangle with your crosshairs, and it will show you a vent. And that's where Zeus is right now. He's not even right here. Watch this. Melee, double melee, but it misses. And then he looks at me. Look at him looking at me. No big deal. Guy just threw a knife at me. Not to mention, he's my mortal enemy. So here you're going to have no choice but to engage these enemies. It's the only way you're going to be able to get into that room and hack the computer and find out where Zeus is at. You have to go in there, hack the computer, and then a new objective will appear on the screen. So you'll see a couple times my screen goes extremely red, and I'm like one bullet away from dying. That's why I called in my owl, because my owl was hacking that computer, and if I would have got shot one more time, I would have died. My owl would have been busy and wouldn't have been able to revive me. So you see again, those fucking riot show guys, man, with the shotguns. If you fight the enemies from up here, Then when you get hit, then you can run away and get into cover. I guess it's not really cover, but you're out of their line of sight and they can't shoot you any longer. So just make sure that you use your tactical echo, find out where they're at. I'm going to make quick work of them with this grenade launcher here. I can see that they're right there. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to hit this guy here. I love this grenade launcher. I use it in the multiplayer too. And if you play multiplayer and you get killed by one of these and you get pissed, I'm sorry, but I just love the grenade launcher. And I spam the shit out of it. So I'm gonna stay up here until all these guys are dead. My owl hacked the alarm. No more waves of enemies gonna come after you kill these guys. So I just go down through this vent. I'm gonna hack the computer, and right there is an adrenaline pack. If you need an adrenaline pack, there's one right behind the computer on that little shelf. But you're gonna want to use your tactical echo and listen for any enemies talking, and you come look out this door. There's a vent right there, but that's not the vent that you're gonna want to go in. But you see that there's the adrenaline pack, and that vent did have a little white triangle on it. So use your tactical echo and fight these enemies from range. I say that every single chapter. And using the tactical echo made me able to see this guy trying to flank me. Had I not used my tactical echo, I would have been engaging these enemies at the bottoms of the steps, and I probably would have got shot in my back by that enemy and possibly would have died. And fighting those enemies at range will give you a better chance of killing them without dying. And my screen's red. I'm not going to waste a adrenaline healing myself because I know that there aren't any more enemies nearby, and that I'll be able to heal. So I'm going to come up here and hit the up on my D-pad to find the objective point. I need to find Zeus. You're going to come through these metal detectors, and I've gotten lost here before. Basically, you're just coming back the way you came from the, well, I guess not. So here it is, the initial part where the alarm was sounded, and I turned right here and went and had to fight all those enemies on the rooftop. Turn left. There will be 2 enemies in that room right there. But they'll be talking shit to somebody, so you'll be able to sneak right past them. And then this is what I'm talking about. This isn't where you want to go. You're going to want to go to the left of the steps. And then to the right here is the vent. And this is the part I'm talking about. I could have came straight here and skipped over going to that room where I had to hack the computer and have a shootout with like 10 or 12 enemies. So you can skip all that if you want. But you'll come in here, he's going to be talking to you, he'll give you some ammo, make sure you pick up that ammo. You don't have to stop and wait for him to talk, you can if you want. Now here's the added objectives. You don't have to do the added objective if you don't want to. If you do, then it's just going to add time to your campaign and more potential to die. Especially if you're doing the elite mode, you don't want to add any more potential to yourself for dying. So you're just going to want to skip over that if you're doing the elite mode. So I come through here, and you'll see coming up there's going to be enemies. I make pretty quick work with them with my grenade launcher. But just, you know, use your tactical echo. Use up on the D-pad to find out where you're supposed to go. And up here, you'll see I make real quick work of these guys with my grenade launcher. And then I make real quick work of the next 3 with the next grenade launcher. Use your tactical echo. I see them come down the steps. I know right where they're at. Bam, bitch, lay down. Now I don't know how I missed this guy here, but I do. So anyways, guys, the video is going to come to an end. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't already. It really means a lot to me. And stay tuned for Chapter 5 Part 2 coming up. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.
We are answerable for our actions. consequences.